All right, everybody, and thanks for joining me today. We're going to be doing a spicy quinoa and veggie taco casserole. This recipe is really for 5 servings, and I think some of the reasons why you're going to love it is because it's a vegetarian and gluten-free. It's a meal prep friendly. In fact, this is going to be my dinner for the week. Meal prep friendly, high in fiber and plant protein. As we get older, I think having more protein is better. And spicy, hearty, and satisfying. Just got done cooking it and testing it, and this recipe is really good and fun to cook. I actually enjoyed cooking this one, and I think it's going to be nice and light for what I'm looking for in the evening. I'm looking for a nice light dinner that gives me some proteins, some fiber, and doesn't fill me up too much, but help me lose my weight. And I think this checks a lot, if not all, those boxes. I really appreciate you watching, and as always, I will have the ingredients, recipe instructions in on the comments. All right, let's get cooking and let's start this adventure together, and let's go. All right, folks, here we go. The ingredients for the spicy quinoa and veggie taco casserole. This serves about 5 servings. All right, our base is going to be the 1 cup of dry quinoa, which yields about 3 cups cooked right here. I did an organic one. 2 cups of water or low sodium veggie broth. Right there, veggie broth. And then the vegetables and beans. Black beans, 15-ounce can. Goya, right there. Kernels, right there. And then we're going to do 1 bell pepper, any color. I went with the orange, a little bit sweeter than the green. Not as sweet as the yellow, or not the red. But I went with this is actually yellow, not orange, yellow. And then the small zucchini diced right here. And then we're going to do 1 to 2 jalapeno peppers. I did 2 finely chopped. And I'm going to probably keep the seeds in there because I like the heat. And then 10-ounce can of diced tomatoes or green chilies. Riatel, the original. All right. And then we do garlic. 2 cloves minced, right there. They're going to do a teaspoon of chili. Then we're going to do teaspoon of, actually it's 1.5 teaspoons of chili. And then the cumin, 1 teaspoon. Here we go. And then we're going to do the smoked paprika. And the great value, smoked paprika. Then we're going to do the oregano. There you go for the oregano. Say a 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. I might skip that. Black pepper to taste. Here's my ground black pepper. And optional pinch of cayenne for extra heat. Here's my extra heat. And then that's our seasoning. Let's get cooking and let's go. All right, folks, you're seeing in our sauteed, I went ahead in a saucepan and brought 2 cups of the broth to a boil. We're going to add the quinoa, which I cleaned off and rinsed off, 1 cup. And I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. It should yield about 2 to 3 cups of cooked. Get that in there. Starting to get everything. I have a little bit of difficult time rinsing it and cleaning it, so I got to figure out a better way of doing that. But I have it all in there, or most of it in there. All right, and we're going to go ahead and let it cover it and reduce the heat a little bit and let it simmer for 15 minutes. All right, let's go. All right, here we go. Let's saute the vegetables. I got the zucchini in there, the onion, the jalapeno peppers, the yellow bell pepper, and 2 minced cloves of garlic. So we're gonna do about 5 to 6 minutes of sauteing this. And then the quinoa, which probably won't be pronouncing correctly, should be done shortly. I'm gonna put that in a bowl, and then once this is sauteed, we'll go ahead and combine everything in the big bowl with ingredients. And then after that, we're going to cook it in the casserole dish. Let's go. All right, here we go. I already got the quinoa cooked down there along with the sauteed vegetables. Now I'm going to add in rinsed, drained and rinsed black beans. Then we're going to do 1 cup of corn. Look at that yellow corn. Then we're going to do the diced tomatoes with green chilies. And then we're going to add in our spices. Here we go. And here we go. Here's our smoked paprika. There's our oregano. And let's throw in a little bit of pepper to taste. And I'm not doing a salt, but you guys can definitely do the salt. Probably more recommended to do it. But I try to avoid salt if I can. Not always though. And I'm going to put some cayenne pepper, a pinch of it in there. All right. Now we're going to turn that all around, and then we're going to put it in the casserole dish. And then we're going to cook it for at 375 for about 25 to 30 minutes uncovered. All right, let me go ahead and mix this up. Let's go. Whoa. All right, here we go. You notice I use a pie dish. I don't have cannot locate, or I don't have a casserole dish. So I've been using various dishes when I do my casseroles. But it works. Works just fine. It's a bit circle instead of rectangle, but it's okay. Let's give this a try. Let's take a little spoon right here. You see the quinoa, the black beans. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing the quinoa wrong. The black beans, the onions, the zucchini. Very healthy. I think I even see a green pepper in there too, jalapeno pepper. Nice. I was looking for something kind of light in the evening. I'm on this on my channel Sunnyside John, Florida. I'm doing a 30-day fitness plan for people over 50 years old, but it's really for anybody. And I've been trying to lose some weight, get healthier, and I wanted something that was healthy, that could fill up my belly with a quinoa, but also was healthy and not too full. And I think this is really, really good at it there. Let's do another bite. See, look at the details there. Has a nice, since I left the jalapeno peppers in there, it does have a little bit of heat on it, which is good, which is what I was looking for, and it's going to be good. Let's take a look here, and well, I appreciate you watching. As I mentioned before, the instructions, the recipe, the ingredients, and the instructions will be in the comments. All right, folks, I appreciate everything. I really appreciate you watching. And if you get any value from this, please consider liking and subscribing. If not, I perfectly understand, and I really appreciate you being here. All right, folks, let's go. Until next time, let's get cooking and let's go.